Hello and welcome to the channel. It's puzzle time again with a new case for you with Sudoku Sleuth. Now, I realize it's not Tulip season anymore, but today's puzzle is Tulip by A Parliament of Owls. And what a beautiful looking tulip he has already, or she has included in the grid for us to solve today. Um, Now, on this channel, we are often solving Sudoku variants, meaning they're Sudoku puzzles with a twist that allows us to fill in a grid that's completely devoid of numbers. Now, Parliament of Owls has been very generous in giving us a 8 here already on the grid. I think despite the fact that it's only a single digit, that's entirely forgivable, just given how beautiful looking this grid is. You know, you've got the petal, the stem, and the leaves. It's fantastic. We also seem to have a plethora of rules with so many different types of clues here. I suspect we know what many of them are. They've been featured on the channel before, but let's take a look at the rules that we have for today's puzzle. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. We've got to place the digits 1 through 9 in every row, column, and box. We also have German whispers. We've seen these before on the channel where essentially you have to oscillate between low digits below 5 or high digits above 5 to be able to essentially be a difference of at least a difference of 5 away from the neighboring domino. Note I didn't include the digit 5 in here because if you think about it, it would mean it's either at least a 0 or at least a 10, neither of which is possible on a Sudoku similar to the one we're solving today. We also have Kropki dots, so white Kropki dots, they have to be adjacent. So if that's a 1, that's a 2. We also have black Kropki dots, so that means they are a ratio of 2 away. If I use again the example 1 and 2, that would also work. You can use either dot to join these two. We have killer cages, so we've got 2 cages down here. And in this cage, we're given the sum of 25. So these 4 cells that are unique have to add up to 25. And these 5 cells are all different. Thermos, you can see from the bulb end, digits have to increase, essentially similar to a thermometer where you start low and you go up increasingly to larger digits. And then lastly, we have XV, although we only have the X today, where these 2 cells have to add up to the digit 10. Plenty of rules for today's puzzle, which I hope is plenty for us to actually crack this one. And with that said, actually, just before I get started, if you want to play along, there's a link in the description down below. And if you enjoy today's video, please give this video a like. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. And with that said, let's restart the clock and get to solving it. So I'm immediately drawn to these thermos, particularly the ones in column 5 where we just seem to have a plethora of rules, where because they are 6-cell thermos, we're actually quite restricted in terms of what we can place here. So by having 6 cells, it means that we have 4 degrees of freedom. That's sort of the way it works. I mean, 3 degrees of freedom, but essentially between the difference between 6 and 9, but up to 4 different types of digits that we can place in each of those cells. I'm not going to fill in the Kropki dot, but I will take a look at this German whisper. So by its nature, that we're trying to do add up to a 10, this can only be from the digits 6, 7, 8, or 9. And that tells us now the polarity of this German whispers line, where essentially we'll oscillate between highs, low, high, low, high. We also need to place 5 somewhere in column 5. And you can see it's not on the German whispers, it's not on the X pair, it's not on the Kropki pair. So this has to be the 5, these 2 cells, meaning none of these cells can be 5. This helpfully restricts this cell as well as this cell. By removing 5 as an option, we've removed the largest digit here, and therefore this can no longer be a 4. This can no longer be a 6. Still too many options for me to pencil mark here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 is all still plausible. Let's see if we know how to play some of the others. So I expect if we're going to discover there is probably something in box 5 that's restricted once we actually completely pencil mark all of these thermos. So that's helpful. So we can't put an 8 in here because of this 8. So no 7, no 6, no 5, no 4. Right, I spotted it. So let's color this grid for a second. So these two are low digits, meaning we've already placed in box 5 all the low 4 digits. So this set has to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the question to ask is, can this be a 4? And the answer is no, because it would require a 9 in here and a 9 in there to be 5 away, putting 2 9s in the column and breaking the puzzle as a result. So this is from the set 1, 2, 3. We've got a triplet now. This is the 4, and that fixes the rest of this thermo for us here. That removes 9 as an option. Right, that removes 6 as an option from here, leaving us with a 5, 6 pair. This 5 and 6 tells us this has to be a 4. That's not a 4. The rest look fine, at least for now. Let's have a think about some of these for a moment. So this is from 1, 2, 3. Can't be a 4. It can be a 5. This can still go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it can. Okay. This isn't a 4. So in fact, this is not a 5. And I'm just going to color them for a second. So that's not a 3. 3 has to be in here. So if it's 3, 7, that's fine. It's probably the only possible combination, because if we put 2, 8, yeah, we can still do 2, 8, 3. So this is either a 3, 7 pair. I mean, the fact that we removed 9 as an option means there is no 1 in here. So if this is 2, that's got to be an 8, and then that would be a 1, 3. That's fine. 3, 7. This will have to be 1 or 2 along that. No, that hasn't told us much. Right, 2 and 3, I'm ready to pencil mark this in now. So that's either 1, 4, or 6. So these two 5s, I just don't think I've really used all the clues we've uncovered so far. Right, this cannot be a 2. By removing the 1 in here, this cannot be a 2. This cannot be a 3. This cannot be a 4. And the rest is fine. So the question to ask here, 6, 7, 4. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. It'd be very helpful to know what this cell is. So let me think around what's left in the column for a moment. So German whispers means we cannot put 4s or 6s in the middle of a line because, again, that would require two extreme digits. So if this is a 4, well, in this case, if this is a 6, it would require 2 1s in here, which is not possible. So that's 7, 8, or 9. That's 1, 2, or 3. And this is from any of 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, that is helpful. We've got a set of a triplet of 1, 2, 3. So that's not 1. Got a 4, 6 pair now in box 2. So that's 3, that's 2, that's 8. That's 1, that's 3, that's 9. That's 1, and that can be any of these still. That's 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. And we need to place 1 and 2, we know the order. We need to place 5 and 6, we know the order. So it's all sort of falling apart very quickly now. So 7 pretty much fixes this thermo for us. Super. And that's 6. I think we pretty much used all the thermal clues, well, at least black Kropki rules. And we have to start looking elsewhere in the grid now for what's next. And, I think, just looking at this still very empty grid that we're trying to solve, I'm just drawn to this cage of 25 that's made up of 4 digits. So it's still got a large number of degrees of freedom, but not as much as you may think, because we've got 9, 8, 7, and 6 in the column in here. So the maximum these can be is 4 and 5, which is 9. Now that would leave us with still 16 to get to, so 7 or 9. So that's really only 1 degree of freedom that we're left with. So this could be a 3, this could be an 8, 9 pair, or this could be a 4, 5 pair, and this would be 7 or 9. In any case, we've got to put a 9 in here, and we've got to put a 5 in there. And that's 1 of 3 or 4. To essentially complete that column, which means we know what this is to complete the box. So that's 2, 7, and 8. Now I'm looking at this cell here, because you can see this cell sees all of these. So these two, because they're in the same cage, this one because it's in the same row, as well as this 6. So in fact, this is actually quite a restricted cell. It can only be 1, can't be 2 because it's in these sets. It could be 3, it's not 4, 5, 6. It's not 7 or 8, and it's not 9. So that's 1 or 3. Therefore, this is 2 or 4. If this is odd, this has to be even to be 1 away. And we're very close to having a set here. And I'm thinking, given we have such few cells clues remaining, we probably have to think about this for a moment. So this is from, pardon me, I just spotted that 9 that was telling us something fairly obvious. That's therefore from 6, 7, or 8. And this all looks so restricted. 7 and 8, 2, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. This 5 tells us where to place it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. So We know this set contains an 8 somewhere. We know these have to include a 7. 8 will be joined by a 7, 6 will be joined by a 7. Therefore, that's not 7. Right, let's think about this combination of these cages a bit more. So we know there's a 5 in here. If this is a 4, that's 7, 3, 1, 2, 8, 6. Sorry, let's try that again. If this is a 4, 7, 6, 3, 1, 2, 8, what have we not used? Oh, sorry, I'm just going to have to do this momentarily. So that's, therefore this is a 7. That's, so that all looks doable. And therefore this is 4. So that's one option. And is the other possible? So if this is a 3, that's an 8, that's a 7, that's a 2, 4, and 4, and we end up with double 4s in the row. So that's not possible. So let me just play that back again. So if this is a 3-5 pair, this would need to be an 8, which would require this to be a 2. This would need to be a 4 to complete the 3-4 set. And this would also need to be a 4 because we've taken the 2 away. So that's a 4-5 pair. 3, 1, 2, 8, 7, 6, 4. These are not 8. And in there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This can only be a 3. It was a naked single, but quite tough to spot, actually, given all of the different things that we're playing here. Right, so it almost seems like that's all the clues now. So it's really just straightforward Sudoku from here, isn't it? And I suspect the answer for that is yes. So that's 5, 5, 4, 5. And that's all the 5s done. What else do we have that we have plenty of? 3s. Yeah. Let's just check if I missed anything on ones. It's just, there's so few of them that, you know, if I'm doing normal Sudoku, I really don't bother pencil marking something unless it's only just 2 digits. Let's take a look at maybe a more effective way of this. So we need to place an 8 in this row, sorry, in this column. It's got to be in here. That's got to be from a 3-4 pair. We don't know what these are yet. And we need to place 4 has to be in here. 6 has to be in here. We still need to place 7 and 9. We still need to place 1, 2, and 8 in here. Six and 4. 7, 8, and 9. That's the 8. Another 7, 9 pair. Need to place 1 and... So, I mean, I'm just seeing this clue here, realizing it's got to be 1, 7, 9, but we've got 7, 9 in the row, so that's 1, that's 7 or 9 again. And this has to be 2. You also need a 2 in here. Finally, we can unwind these 7, 9 pairs we've been accumulating, at least some of them. This has to be a 3, 9 pair. This has to be from 1, 2, and 7. That's not 7, that's neither of these are 2. So that's 1, 7, 2, 7, 9, 3, 9. This has to be 3, 4, 3. Right. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's today's puzzle. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. It's quite an involved puzzle where, you know, particularly down here where you had to think about row 7 and the interplay between these various cages. Aside from where you needed to, you know, think through quite a few steps ahead to be able to actually solve it, it was a fairly straightforward puzzle. Do let me know how you got on. Always enjoy reading your comments, and see you back for tomorrow's puzzle.